Hi, I'm Arshad Devani, a tech speaker and an entrepreneur. We are going to have a lot of AI related workshops as part of this particular whole series. For this workshop, we are going to discuss about how AI has transformed over the years. We are also going to look at the model context protocol, which is going to help you to just connect your LLMs with your system directly. And we are also going to check out how LLMs can really be helpful for you to generate a lot of your content. Alright, so as part of this particular workshop, we are going to use a couple of components from MSI for this amazing build which we have. Let's look at what all components are there as part of this. So first of all, we have Intel Core Ultra 9 285K processor. We have T-Force Delta RGB 32GB RAM. We have MSI MPG Z890 Carbon Wi-Fi motherboard. We have MSI GeForce RTX 5070 Ti Vanguard SoC graphics card. We have MSI MAG Core Liquid i360 all-in-one liquid cooler. And then we have MSI MAG A850GL power supply. We have MSI MAG Pano 100R PZ PC case. We have MSI Spatium M470 Pro 2TB SSD, which is an NVMe one. We have MSI MAG 27 1QPX QD OLED monitor, which is this one. We have the MSI MP 27-inch 3QP monitor, which is the standing one here. And then we have the MSI MAG Forge GK300 combo of this keyboard and mouse with RGB lights. And then we have the MSI Immerse GH20 headset, which is this amazing audio quality one headset, which we are going to utilize for the recording as well. So let's get started with the workshop. As part of this workshop, we are going to understand about how AI has transformed over the years and what is upcoming next in the field of AI. There are a lot of things which we are going to cover. This is going to be a bit theoretical. I know it tends to get a bit boring, but we'll try to make it more interesting with some examples. Let's try to understand the evolution of AI, where it started, how it started, and where is it going right now. So it all started off with very simple binary tree structures. You all know that computers just understand 0 and 1. So zeros and ones. Consider this like a yes and a no decision. Yes is 1, no is 0. The first set of AI was basically simple if and else conditions. If this is true, then do this. If this is false, then do this. And that was the initial time where we started off with AI. These is long years ago. Then came the part where we had a lot of breakthroughs. We started talking about neural nets. So understand that neural nets are simple layered approaches of the same structure. So you have different types of binary trees. So at every level, there are less and less kind of outputs which are coming in to finally give you a beautiful output. Now, all of these things are done using neural networks, and there are a lot of different types of models which do and perform in various modes. So we have the data-driven models, which are more associated to just data coming in from existing set of information, such as information which is available on websites or probably old trained data. And then you have the newer set of capabilities which are there in the neural networks, which can understand images, which can understand audio, which can understand videos, so on and so forth. And there are a lot of different models which are being developed, scientific models which are being developed to do and perform a lot many more things. All of these things is not possible unless and until there is enough computational power which is available for it. So do remember, all of this AI works on high-end computational power and high-end computational hardware, which is required to make this work at scale. So all of this is fine, but we all might be thinking that the AI has come in recently, but not really. AI has been there for quite some time, but what made it even better was the transformer revolution, which started in 2017. That is probably the time where you started learning more about different types of applications which are being created on AI. Probably the time when OpenAI also started marketing about their products. They had been working before that as well probably, but then they started marketing more about their products and everything since 2017. And that was a transformational revolution, and that is where we call it as the transformer revolution as well. But then the transformers are also an architectural approach which basically helps you to understand and go multimodal in another way. And then these are the foundational patterns of an LLM. Now, what is an LLM? We will try to understand about it very shortly, but then LLMs are short for large language models. These are models which can understand your language, not dialects, but natural language, and then it can respond back in the same language to you. So let's try to understand what are large language models. Large language models are very simple in terms of understanding. So imagine there's a lot of information which is available. This could be in form of different types of blogs. Probably you might be writing some blogs, so you have blogs. Then you have websites which are serving a lot of data. You have books, you have articles, maybe even Wikipedia, so many different places where the data is available. All of this data is utilized to form a model which can answer a lot of queries. It can learn from the data which has been given out. It has been trained on that particular data, and then finally it gives you a lot of information back from whatever is available to it. This is all dependent on the transformer architecture. So what the transformer architecture is responsible for? The transformer architecture basically takes in all of this data and transforms it into a way that you can understand it better. And these are oftenly utilized in all the modern models whichever are there. Some notable examples: you have Gemini, you have GPT series, you have Claude, you have Llama, and many more. And guess what? While we speak, while you're looking through this video, there's probably one another model which is upcoming very soon. So you never know. There are models being developed every day. There are models which are breaking the barriers of what we thought traditionally was not possible, and there are a lot more things which are coming in. Now let's try to understand how these LLMs work. The magic behind all the good things which you use as of AI today. So the way how it starts off, when you give an input to the model, it goes ahead and it encodes it into vectors. We also call this as embedded vectors. Now these embedded vectors are then provided to the whole encoder logic, which understands what is incoming and it tries to search out into the database what is relevant to it. There is a lot of processing which happens behind the scenes in multiple levels or multi-layered processing. Now the transformers try to analyze what is being done, what is the text which is incoming, and what should be the text which should be coming out. And then there is a relationship which gets created between the words. So for example, in case if there is a sentence which is available, there is a replication of that particular sentence into the database. So the relation mapping happens, and once the relation mapping is having a good percentage or a good match, at that point of time the transformer says that this is a good match and it proceeds forward to give out the information, and then the prediction takes place. So the model says that this is the text which is available, and then it tries to see whether this text does really answer it or not. So this whole is a training process which is done while the models are being created, and then you get the final output of a model which you can go ahead and utilize to create your end set of results. So let's try to understand where LLMs can come into the picture. So the traditional mode, I think like since a couple of years we have been seeing that people use ChatGPT or Gemini mostly to generate a lot of content and everything. But beyond this, there are ways where the LLMs can start understanding images, it can start understanding audio, it can start understanding text. There are a lot of more other set of things which are being worked upon as of today, which the LLMs are starting to understand. So AI is definitely progressing, a lot of more things coming up in AI. You have seen that there are concepts like RAGs, which is retrieval augmented generation, then there is GAGs, then there is different set of things. We are now seeing a lot of things on agentic. We will try to work out on some of those examples as well. And then these frequent items are updated as part of available online LLMs like Gemini, GPT-4 or Claude 3, so on and so forth. Let's try to understand that how you can write some of these things or how you can present your things to a particular model so that it can give you a good output. Now, to get this particular part done, you need to understand how the sentences are created behind the scenes and how a transformer really understands them as well. Now, we will try to understand this with some examples and try to see how prompting can be useful for you and how you can understand prompting better to make sure that this can be helpful for your output generation. So we are going to look at the different types of prompting mechanisms which we have. So we need to understand that an LLM to give you a desired output which you want, it needs to be instructed in the right way, and unless and until you don't instruct it in the right way, it cannot give you the right set of output. So it has to be a bit sophisticated, and that is where the concept of prompt engineering comes into the picture. So you need to engineer your thoughts and everything in the right fashion so that it can give you the right set of output. Now there are different types of prompts. We will look at it one by one. So let's talk about very simple prompts. I think these are like very limited, it doesn't have a lot of thinking or anything associated to it. So you have like simple prompts like translate hello world to French. Now this is very easy. I don't know French, but then you can go ahead and utilize all of this particular steps or some similar types of prompts to understand and generate a different output. So it is always good to utilize and have simple prompts to get a right set of output, because the output will be simpler as well. Now then there are different other set of prompts. We call it as the few shot learning prompts. So what you try to do is you try to ask questions in a way which is one after the other, and till the time the output is coming in fine, the machine starts understanding, because there's something called as context as part of chat which you generally generate. So the context has all the information. This is the way how the user is asking question, this is the way how the answer is, and it continues to answer in that particular sequence, which enables it to understand that this are the way how the user is expecting the output. So here is the example. So you ask what is the capital of France, so it says Paris. Then you say what is the capital of Spain, it says Madrid. And you say what is the capital of Italy, you leave the answer blank, and when you put up all of those things, it will give you the answer as well. So in this particular way, when you give the prompt in a way saying that these are the types of output which are expected, then it will give you the right set of prompt accordingly. The next one is chain of thought prompting. So sometimes there are concepts or some heavy computational work which is done behind the scenes. So you may give out a text and you may ask it as to what will be the output of this. In such kind of cases, the model may get confused and it might give you a wrong answer. This is frequently called as hallucinations. So when there is any computational thing or a math related problem which you want to solve, and that a model gives you a wrong answer, that is basically called as being hallucinated. So let's look at one of the example. Here's one of the example wherein you say if a train travels 60 miles in 1 hour, how long to travel 120 miles? And for this, to ensure that the model gives you the right output, it needs to perform some calculations. There are some well-known parameters, there are some well-known steps which you can go ahead and you can utilize to go ahead and create something. Let me give you one more other example. Can you tell me how many hours are there in a month of May? Let us know the answer as part of the comments. Then comes the emotion prompting. Here's the part where you try to say or you try to express an emotion, and then you are expecting the answer in a similar way. So one of those examples here is respond as a compassionate counselor to someone feeling anxious about your job interview. So it does look at the sentiments which are available, and then it tries to answer it accordingly. In such kind of experiences, the benefit of having this kind of experiences is, imagine that you're feeling very sad, so it will give you a bit of emotional support. It will give you a better answer in a way wherein you will feel better. So this is more eccentric towards healthcare or customer services, where probably the person who is going to ask the question is probably already aggravated and you want to have a very subtle answer to give the response. So whenever next time you're going to try out your prompts, try giving this particular sentence in the beginning. And this is very much related to the next one, which is role-based prompting. So you would go ahead and you would tell the person that you are so and so person, please respond according to this particular person. So for example, in case if you're a lawyer, you would say please answer in the legal language, and the output which is generally generated comes in a similar approach. So you would use role-based prompting in case where you want a very dedicated result which is having it in the right set of values. So such as act as a world-class legal advisor with 20 years of experience. I'm pretty much sure they might be having a lot of experience around this, and then based on that the answer would reflect in an according way. So this helps you to tailor your answers based on a particular domain. So you can go ahead and you can even ask this, as the fashion designer, tell me what type of clothes should I wear, and they will try to answer. Each of these models will try to answer it accordingly. Then there are definitely a lot of advanced prompting trends which you can follow, such as structured systems. We are going to see that in the next workshop very soon, which will tell you how you can structure out your prompts so that you have a very beautiful output. You basically start off with some questions in the beginning, and once you try to answer those questions, it will be able to give you the output accordingly. So we are going to look at that in the next workshop. But as part of this, we are going to look at some of the natural languages, the way how you would go ahead and simply ask simple questions, and then you would see that how the model is going to respond to you in different ways. There are always some security concerns around the prompt injections, so you would end up in asking something which is not probably allowed, and then that would end up in having a prompt injection risk, which will there are guardrails associated to it as well. We'll not be talking a lot around the security concerns as part of this workshop, but then let's talk about the part as to how and where the AI tools or such kind of prompts are being utilized very frequently. Of course, AI is impacting everywhere around the world. It is impacting each and every domain which is there around the world, but in cases of legal, education and marketing, it is having a very good and a very positive impact in terms of how things can be generated now. In terms of legal, the contract review parts and everything, which generally used to take a lot of time, so you can now utilize AI to translate a lot of this long textual terms and conditions into a shorter summary. So text summarization is one of the use cases of AI which you can look out for. In terms of education, you might have seen there are so many AI tutors which are coming in, which helps you to learn a particular language or probably solve queries which are there as part of your academics, and it helps you to understand in the way how you can understand it better. So you can explain it saying that help me understand this as a 5-year-old, and it will help you understand as a 5-year-old. So in that way, AI can help you to really tailor out your experience. And then in terms of marketing content, I think we all are hungry for good content, and when there is a possibility to use AI to generate content, there's definitive increase in the engagement percentage. So if there is a good content available, then you will have a better engagement percentage, and that engagement percentage can be achieved even better when you use AI. In terms of the future, there are so many different potential areas which could be impacted in a good way, not really in a bad way, but then there are also risks involved as part of AI. A lot of times the questions come, is AI going to take away my job? I don't personally feel that AI is going to take away your job, but it will definitely require human's intervention or a person's intervention to make sure that you can go ahead and you can tell it what it needs to do. It is never going to, at least don't quote me for it, it is never going to go ahead and do things automatically by itself. It will require some form of intervention from an actual human to say that you need to go ahead and do this. And that is where I feel that the agentic AI and everything has been playing a very real vital role in terms of solving a lot of problems. Just few days ago, I was reviewing some of the agentic AI use cases where there are proposals being created for clients who can go ahead and answer a lot of queries. So it becomes more like a chatbot wherein a person is communicating to the person that I need XYZ items, and then based on that, a proposal is automatically created which can be sent to the client directly. So such a beautiful use case. We shall start looking at some of the let's start looking at some of the ways how you can utilize easier set of prompts and how these tools can be utilized to generate a lot of more content. I'm going to use Gemini for doing all of my work. Let's try to create something which is very different. Let's try to understand the way how prompts can be utilized to generate some content around about AI itself. So let's try utilizing Gemini now. And cut. All right, so let's start getting in some content. We are going to ask Gemini to give us some content around AI itself. So we are going to say create a script for explaining the transformation of AI over the years and explain about model context protocol. Oops, I made a mistake. So let's try to solve this and let's hit enter. So now the LLM is basically taking all of this data, it is generating all the content and it is giving us all the information around this. You can see that the early years, the rule-based system started at around 1950s to 1980s, the machine learning era and so on and so forth. The modern era, which started around 2020s, I think while we were discussing, 2017 was the time for the transformers which came into the picture, which helped in terms of creating the modern era. So it has given a lot of data to us. Now you might have seen that I have asked about what is model context protocol. So let's try to understand what exactly is model context protocol. So now the model context protocol is basically a bridge between what the AI agent or the AI application is running or it is generating, and then it has the capability of talking to the actual applications on your system. So for example, it could be like your file system wherein it tries to create files and everything. How many times you might have seen that you are generating some content and then you have to copy paste it actually into your systems. It is so mundane task and I'm pretty much sure no one likes it. Today we are going to look at how you can do that, and as well as in the future workshop we are going to see how you can actually connect it to a program like Blender, where you can generate 3D models directly using Blender, or you can even go ahead and moderate a scene or work around a scene where you can go ahead and use an AI application, and that will utilize model context protocol to go ahead and update the items as part of an existing scene in Blender. So we are going to look at it in the future workshops. But let's try to go ahead and work out on the model context protocol. I'm going to use Claude to do that because I have frequently utilized, and we are going to ask Claude to go ahead and actually generate a whole web application to do that. But for now, understand MCP as a bridge between your AI application, which could be any of the LLMs. It is an LLM and your actual service. So we are going to go ahead and see how this will work out in real time. So in order for you to go ahead and utilize all of these things, you first need Claude Desktop. So you can go ahead and go head to Claude.ai, where you can go ahead and you can log in and then you can download as well. So let me search for directly Claude download, and you'll be directed to this particular link, download Claude. So all you got to do is click on whichever operating system you're using. I'm using Windows and I can click on Windows. You just have to install it and make sure that you have to log in. So once you have logged in, you will be able to see Claude coming up in this particular fashion. So I am utilizing Claude as of today. The latest version which is available is Claude Sonnet 4. So you can go ahead and use that one. I can go ahead and use Opus 4.1 as well, but I'll probably for this one I'll just use Sonnet 4. So we are going to ask it to create an application, but before we do that, let's configure MCP for this. Now to configure MCP for this is quite easy, but for that first you'll have to ensure that you have Node.js installed, because to interact with the file server or the file system you will require Node.js. So let's go ahead and download Node.js. Site for this is nodejs.org. So when you head on to nodejs.org and click on get Node.js, you can install Node.js applicable for your system using a .msi package. So you can download Node.js. For people who are more interested in terms of a developer role and who are into JavaScript development, you can also use NVM, which is Node Version Manager, which will help you to have multiple different types of Node versions simultaneously as well. So let's try to go ahead and install Node. I've already installed it as part of my system, so we are not going to I'm not going to install it again. The next part is we need to go into Claude and we need to go ahead and edit the connectors. So you will have to go into the developer, and at some point you'll be able to find edit config. So you just have to click on edit config. It will take you to the place where the config file is highlighted. So you just right click and open with. So I currently use Visual Studio Code. So Visual Studio Code, and this is how the configs will look. So the config basically says that is MCP server, which you're utilizing for file system, and then the command needs to be given. So npx, which is a command which you would do to run some packages directly using Node. This could be a direct set of packages. So what it does is it directly downloads the package and it allows the execution of that particular package instantaneously, and then you would provide in the arguments. We will paste this particular snippet as part of a link in the captions, so you can go ahead and you can utilize this same snippet as part of your Claude configuration as well. And then the next part is we are going ahead and utilizing Model Context Protocol server file system, which helps you to interact with your actual files, and then you need to give the path where you want your folder to be. I've created a folder called as AI. Let's look at this particular folder. So if we get on to see, I've just created this empty folder called as AI, and I have referenced it. Remember, when you are on Windows, you need to give full path with backslashes, and you need to use 2 backslashes for the whole path separators. So you will have to probably make sure that the path is right, and the right way to understand whether all your MCP and everything has been set and fine is by actually asking the LLM itself. So after you have updated this, you need to save the file and make sure that you restart your Claude. Sometimes it might be not associated directly, so we would recommend that you just restart your system once, and I'm pretty much sure if everything has been done and right, then things when have started, it will work in fine. The right way to understand whether the MCP has been configured properly or not is a very simple way. You can just ask this particular question: which folder am I in? This is one question, and list out all, sorry for the typo, what all directories are there in my folder. When you do this, it is actually going to go ahead. It may prompt you that I need to have access to so and so repositories, and it will go ahead and it will actually, once you allow it, it will go ahead and it will search out for all the different types of repositories and everything. So it has gone ahead. I have already allowed access because I use this very frequently. So it has gone ahead and checked out the repositories. It understood that C/AI was the directory which was my base directory, and then it goes ahead and it says what all thing is there. So it goes ahead and it uses the command of list directory to go ahead and check out what all things are there as part of it, and then it goes ahead and it says it appears to be empty at the moment, which is true. We don't have any projects yet as part of that folder. So let's go ahead and let's create our first project. So I will go ahead and I will initiate a new chat altogether. So let's go ahead and ask Claude to create a application using React plus YT to showcase the work of an artist. The UI should be, modern and minimalistic, and we are going to end this with a sentence: create this project in my folder. Now with this one particular last prompt, it is going to go ahead and it is going to create application as part of my folder. And while we have done this, it has gone ahead, it has checked whether it is allowed to create folders. It has listed that directory. You can see that create directory has already started working, and which means the application has already started creating. So let's go ahead and check out the folder directly. So you can see artist portfolio, the folder has already been created. I can go ahead and open this up. So I'll just click on this and I should have open with code. So Yes, I trust the authors. So you can see that it has already started creating the whole application. So it has created the assets, the components folder. It is still generating things behind the scenes. So we can check out the way how Cloud is generating all of these files. It is creating this individual components. Let's see what it is creating at this point of time. So it is creating using some of the file. So I guess the last file which it created was component/header. You can see simultaneously the files are getting created as well. So the header, the hero folder, and all of the components are getting created. So we'll wait for a couple of seconds for this to generate. So it has generated the about, the header, the gallery, hero.jsx. There could be some errors which might be coming in, which we'll try to solve as in when it comes. Let's see how this is working out. You can even ask Claude to go ahead and fix it out for you as well. So we'll see how this is going to work out. Okay, so here's some of the things. So when there is a maximum length limit for Claude, you can go ahead and click on continue, so it will continue creating. So it is now creating the contact component. And now it is creating the footer component. Now guess what, if you were utilizing any of the online LLMs directly without an MCP, you would basically see that the content is getting generated, then you'll probably be copy pasting it in different files, which tends to be sometimes a problem because you might end up in missing out one particular file, and that would mean that your whole project might not run altogether. So MCP basically helps you to interact directly with your file system. So while this is getting generated, let's quickly see the different types of MCP servers which are available. So you can go ahead, MCP servers, which will basically tell you about all the different types of servers. So I particularly utilize GitHub's this particular repository, which is Model Context Protocol servers, which tells you about the different types of servers which are possible. So you can see that there is a test server, which is basically called as the everything server. Then you have the fetch, which allows you to go ahead and utilize the web content. So it will browse on your behalf and it will showcase the work. And then you have file system, which we are currently utilizing. You have a Git MCP server, which allows you to go ahead and manage, push your code or pull your code or do n number of other things. Then you have a knowledge graph persistent based memory MCP server, which will help you to go ahead and solve something which is more in terms of let's say like a tree structure. And then you have sequential thinking, which will help you to build upon thoughts of whatever you are thinking in terms of the context. So it keeps on building the context and everything. And time related part, which will help you to go ahead and work around with the time. So you have there are a lot of new MCP servers which get created daily. There are some MCP servers which I have utilized to talk directly to PostgreSQL database as well, which helps you to go ahead and directly talk to your database. So it creates the queries, it runs the queries for you directly, so that you don't really have to write the queries by your own self, and it explains the data also quite well. All of these were being done directly via my system, so I would type in the command as part of Claude, and then it will go ahead and it would create that particular thing. Query, it will run the query. Once the data has been coming in, then it is going to read through all of these things. So it does take all of this data over the internet bridge to analyze and then respond back. In the future workshops, we are going to do everything locally, so everything will be done out of our system. no connecting to internet, so everything will be done, all the models and everything will be utilized directly from our system. So we are going to look at that very soon. So the project has been created. Let's try to see how this project looks. So what we need to do is we need to run this particular application. So in order for us to run this application, first we need to install the packages, and the way to install the packages is by going ahead and typing npm install as part of the project. So we are going to do npm install. Okay, let me fix this very quickly. Sometimes I end up in having these issues on the system. So npm install. Okay, so the installation has just gone through, and the next command which we need to do is npm run dev. So when we do this, okay, it says that there is an error, module is not defined. There are two ways. Of course, I know how to fix this, but then we are going to say this particular error, and then we are going to give out this particular error. So we are going to directly give it to Claude to see how Claude can fix this. So what it can do is it can go ahead and it can search what is the problem of this. So let's go to Claude and say, I have a problem or let's call it as I have an error, and it is going to analyze this. It is going to read through all of these things, and it is going to say that the issue has been understood. So it is because of the common JS syntax of module.exports, but let's see, it is because of the type as module which needs to be sent. So it has gone ahead and it has updated it. Let's go ahead and check it out, because it says that it has updated the file. So let's go ahead and check this out once as well, in case if it has gone ahead and updated the file. And this I would go ahead and check it out in this one. So you can see the type has been updated to module, which is what we wanted. So let's go ahead and now do npm run dev, and it runs. And this is a genuine problem which we see. So it has said that there is an error in so and so. So I'm just going to copy this. I can fix this directly as well. It's quite simple to fix this one, but we are going to ask Claude to fix this for us. I have another error. And we have just pasted the whole error which we have seen, and it is going to go ahead behind the scenes and it is going to solve this particular part as part of hero.jsx. Let's look at this. It has fixed the SVG related problem, and now we can go ahead and we can see the content coming up very soon. So I'm just going to quickly refresh this, and you can see once the page has been refreshed, it gives you a very nice page. Now this was completely created using AI, no manual work which was being done here. The whole web app has been created. All you got to do is now start putting up your images, and you have a beautiful application which has been created. So no need of buying so many different templates and everything. You can explain AI how it needs to be done, and it will go ahead and it will create it for you. You can definitely use web search and all the other types of different types of MCP servers. You can particularly something like the fetch. So what this is going to do is it is going to look through. Let's look at how fetch works. We are not going to execute that at this point of time, but fetch allows you to go ahead and explore the pages, and then it converts them into a different format system so that you can go ahead and you can utilize it. So it will do all the work for you. There is also an extension where you can use Brave browser as a MCP bridge or MCP connector, and then it will allow you to go ahead, browse a particular page, understand the whole page, get the data from the page, and then utilize it as part of your prompt as well. So you can go ahead and you can utilize all of these things to understand and work things out. I would really tell everyone to explore some of these areas. These are like really very good areas to understand and to figure out. It could really go a long way in case if you have to do a lot of content generation, or you want to utilize AI to your aid in terms of doing. So you might think that in case if you like a profile website of someone else, you can ask AI to mimic something similar. Of course, you need to be careful about the copyright related licenses and all of the other related aspects which are associated to copywriting, to make sure that there are no infringements. So you can go ahead and you can do all of this particular work. I'm happy with this particular work, and you can see that it has gone ahead and it probably generated it in under like 5 to 10 minutes, and the whole portfolio website is available. So you can click on view gallery, which it takes you to a different page. It works based on I guess it was based on materialize, or sorry, I think it was using, yeah, it uses Tailwind to go ahead and do the work, particularly the Lucid React library, the component library, to go ahead and generate all the items. It uses React and React DOM to go ahead and create the whole application as well. You can see the Tailwind is also available here. So it generates everything for you, and it creates the final application. So let us know in the comments, or let us know what work you have done using AI, and particularly this particular mode of application generation. Or in case if you have your own applications which you have generated using AI, feel free to put it up as part of the comments, and we'll be more than happy to look through it. And do follow us to let us know how you like about this particular workshop, which will help us to tailor the future workshops way more better. Thank you. Have a great day ahead.